Hello and welcome to my cake kitchen. My name is Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate cake decorating easily. Now, these cupcakes you see here, we made them just in another live a few moments ago. That live should be up on the channel for you to check. Check the homepage and click on live. So what we do here is we go through a simple baking session. We test our outcome when it comes out of the oven. But unfortunately, for us to decorate these cupcakes, we had to let the cupcakes cool. So if you're just chancing onto this live, this is a second part of a bake session where the first part we undertook the baking of these cupcakes. Now the goal of the bake session was to adapt a base recipe, which was a classic vanilla cupcake recipe, and derive some chocolate cupcakes from that. It's one very simple recipe, which is a base recipe, and then it can be adapted in the same process without undertaking extra work. But our main objective for the adaptation was also to ensure that we don't compromise on quality. We can all agree that it is very convenient to be able to create one recipe that can be modified in different ways to achieve various other sponge recipes out of. However, by so doing, there is a few risks that has to be considered. Some of the risks may include the butter being overmixed, sometimes the butter becoming too dry, or the outcome of our bake being too dry because of the addition of extra ingredients. Also, you can risk also having the gluten overdeveloped because of overmixing, which doesn't give you a great crumb integrity, if you like. So whilst a base recipe may be a good thing to cover to solve some problems like that being so convenient for large baking quantities, they also come with slight problems that have to be mitigated as part of the entire process. So as a result of that, we raised all those questions or concerns, and we hoped that this particular recipe doesn't give us those problems. Well, I'd hate to say it, but over here we show our mistakes. Somehow we ended up with some cupcakes that were slightly overrisen. I guess that's a thing with any other cupcake sometimes. Baking is a science, but sometimes the science can be slightly unpredictable and outcomes may not go along with what we may have hoped for. So, out of 9 cupcakes that we baked for the chocolate cupcakes, 3 came up spilling over the lip of the cupcake case, over reason. But in terms of quality, crumb integrity, moisture, they were great. So I'm not overly concerned about them, but I hope I'll be able to go back and look at what was happening here so that we can tweak that and obviously end up with the same result as our vanilla cupcake. But as always, I'll leave the ingredient details in the description box, and you can follow the entire process in our previous live to see how we undertook the bake. It is packed with ton of information to help you get your bake right. And the purpose of these live bake sessions are to inspire and inform. That you're invited into my kitchen with me. You get to see me undertake a baking session. We look at the outcome of our bake live so we can all either be excited about it or equally disappointed. Over here, we encourage our mistakes to be shown because baking is not exactly a perfect journey. I've been a baker for close to a decade now, and I can tell you the beautiful cakes you will see on the channel pages are only a snippet of what the entire life of a cake maker is. So if you're having problems in your cake kitchen, here's an encouragement to keep going. Baking always has room for you to learn and improve. So keep doing it and hopefully you will get better results. So without having to waste your time, we're going to decorate these cupcakes here. Over here in the live video, we had Swiss meringue buttercream that we brought back from frozen. Now, the reason why we did that was because whilst we encourage the use of buttercream at room temperature, sometimes you have to make buttercream in advance. For me, I prefer to make them 24 to 48 hours for the flavors to develop. But that also means that I have to keep an eye on the buttercream in the fridge, bring it out in time to thaw before use. I have cheated a few times and dumped the whole thing in the microwave, which has given me slightly inconsistent results. Distracted slightly, the whole frozen buttercream goes into an oily mess for me, and I have to put it in the refrigerator to set before I use. Or some days I've gotten great results when the 10 seconds have just worked perfectly. Today at 12 seconds, we were able to melt it back to regular temperature, beat it in the mixer, and we have that here. All of that you'll be able to see me demonstrate the process entirely for you to see, so that if you're having problems with, do I have to make my buttercream fresh, what if I can't do it fresh, this is some sort of answer to some of the questions I receive on a regular basis about baking processes, buttercream, and other baking related issues. So that is just about that. And so we're going to frost the cupcakes with the Swiss meringue buttercream, which is in a piping bag with a piping nozzle. The nozzle we have here is the large star tip. The specific one, whether it's the 1M or something else, I'll leave all of that in the description box for you to see. But I'm just going to pipe a swell of that over the cupcake. And that is because the person for whom this cupcake is going to doesn't like too much buttercream. They prefer just a plain flavored cupcake, no much buttercream. So I'm just piping simple roses. I'm not making it too tight and very perfect here. And that is because whoever I'm going to give these cupcakes to isn't so fast. So perhaps this should be an easy design for you to undertake in your own time. I'm not going to frost any of the chocolate cupcakes here, only because I didn't make any chocolate cupcakes. I just wanted you to see the cupcakes as they came. So for the chocolate cupcakes, as you can see, the texture itself was great. So you can see we have great chocolate cupcake. They are very spongy, light, and flavorful with moisture, as you can see over here. And the cupcakes too came out great too. So in terms of outcomes, that is about as good as I wanted it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, let's just frost these cupcakes and be done here. Right, I couldn't put any fillings in because the recipient doesn't prefer any filling. So we have just plain flavored cupcakes here. Which I am going to set up on the normally when I make cupcakes and I box them, I tie them up with a ribbon. So I naturally did that, but I'm going to untie those so I can box them. These are just basic vanilla cupcakes. There's 6 of those. So perhaps these are good for a gift. You can upgrade these simple designs by adding fondant cut discs over them. They make great gifts for school teachers, your friend's birthday. You know, the intention to give cupcakes as a gift is not so much that they are accessible and they may be considered very easy gifts to give, but it's the intention. The thing is, if you take time to understand a particular recipe and you try your hands out at it and you get great results, it means that you are able to serve something to somebody which comes directly from your viewpoint, that comes from your skill invested into creating this thing that you want to gift to another person. So cupcakes are not just flour, sugar, and eggs whipped together. They're a piece of someone else's heart and thought process that have come to fruition. So for me, I will always encourage you to undertake a bake if you're into baking and see what results you get out of it. Because trust me, you won't be disappointed at all, right? So because homemade cupcakes or homemade bakes are nothing like the shop bought things we buy, to be honest. So you will be surprised at the reaction when you make cupcakes for your loved ones. But the earlier live session was rather interactive. I had some good feedback on there. It was really exciting. So hi Millie and hi Cynthia. Are you both bakers? Do you bake, Millie and Cynthia? Hiya. If you're new in the chat, if you've just checked into the oh, Bartholomew, that's such a biblical name. Hiya, thank you. See, right. So, are you a baker? Leave a comment in the comment section. Let's see. Do you like baking? It's lovely to have you. I don't announce my live sessions because, whilst I love baking, my life can be a bit busy and overwhelming sometimes, and I don't want to make a fuss out of coming on the live and not turn up because something developed or something happened. So I don't make any noise about it at all. I just show up and I just hope, look, if no one is watching, they'll see it later. So for me, it is such a pleasure to have you on the chat, right? So hiya. I wish I could share my cupcakes here with all of you. Unfortunately, you are not close by. It's normally, if you watch my previous lives, I have actually eaten a cupcake live, except this one, it's it's past midnight and I'm not sure if I want to eat a cupcake. Shall we try a cupcake? Okay, right. Before we go trying a cupcake, this is the cupcakes we made. So, of course, they are labeled and sealed so that they are handed over. But can you imagine how happy a family member or a friend or a loved one will feel when you show up with a box of cupcakes wrapped nicely? Because sometimes the intention is not just making the product, it's also taking the time and the thought to present it better. Okay, we all eat what we see, you know. So sometimes when we think about baked items from home, we think, oh, I just whip this together. Let me just put it together and put it in a lunchbox or something. I'll encourage you to take time out and consider different creative ways of presenting a homemade good, from lemon curd to caramel. I mean, if you think about lemon curd and caramel, they're just basic homemade items that are not considered super special. But depending on how you present that as a gift and the packaging of that, you could simply make someone's day by not breaking the bank. And I think saying that, I have a video on this channel for a Christmas gift where I made salted caramel, simple salted caramel, but boxed it up as a gift. I think that idea is somewhere on the channel. So I'll link it in the description box. It's a festive themed video, but it's useful all year through, especially if you're looking for gift ideas and ways to package a gift. But otherwise, our cupcakes are boxed up over here.